Hello class, good morning. Nasaan na po yung iba? Let's wait for another 2 minutes. Then we'll start with the attendance. Okay, so start na tayo. Please say present if you are here. Abrea, Arzadon.
Present po.
Wala. Bakani,
Present po.
Balonga,
Present po, ma'am.
Borromeo,
Present po.
Cacao,
Present po.
Camino, Camino, wala. Camo,
Present po.
Cañeda, wala si Cañeda. Castillo,
Ma'am, present po.
Jeff Jare, ay sorry, Catane,
Present po.
Concebido,
Present po.
De Lara,
Present po.
De Los Reyes, De Los Reyes Jerome, wala. Doktora, wala. Penalpe, wala din. Gambol, Garcia,
Present po.
Gutierrez, wala din. Fernandez, Fernandez
Alba.
Krenz, Krenz Peter, wala. Hernandez John Lay,
Present po, ma'am.
Jimenez Alaya.
Present po, ma'am. Aliyah po yun.
Aliyah, sorry. And then Lunar. Wala si Lunar. Lunar Alay. Paano i-pronounce yung name mo? Alaya. And then, meron kayong kaklase na nakadrop, si Lunar Catherine. Tama ba na nakadrop na to? Or ano?
Opo, ma'am. Nag-drop na daw po.
Okay. So, next, Makaraeg.
Present po, ma'am.
Makalintal. Edward Ramil. Wala. Manalo. Benz. Wala din. Manzanilla.
Present po.
Mendoza.
Present po.
Nina.
Present po, ma'am.
Montalvo. Mosca.
Present po.
Natanawan.
Present po.
Perez.
Present po.
Radones.
Present po, ma'am.
Rafa.
Present po.
Ramos.
Present po, ma'am.
Ramos Raisa.
Present po.
Saltok. Jose.
Present po.
Tabernero.
Present po, ma'am.
Torino.
Present po.
Venco.
Present po, ma'am.
Villanueva.
Present po.
And Villar.
Present po, ma'am.
Villar, I believe ikaw yung nag-message sa akin regarding your absence.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, meron tayong 2 activities, 1 quiz. Ano pa ba naging natin? Yun, meron tayong 2 activities and 1 quiz na hindi mo na nagawa, di ba?
Yes po.
So, you would have to do it separately.
Okay po.
So, before tayo mag-exam for midterms, you have to submit those. And you can ask your classmates ano yung mga naging activity. So, for activity number 1, ang i-assign ko na lang sa'yo is importance of communication in aerospace industry. And then yung activity number 2, you can ask your classmates ano yung mga naging questions. And then for the quiz, you can approach me kung kailan ka free. So yung free time ko is from 1 p.m. onwards. Ang schedule ng free time ko is Wednesday until Friday only. 1 p.m.
Okay
onwards.
po.
So approach me na lang. No.
Yes po. Noted po. Thank you po.
Okay. Ayun, so start na tayo ng discussion. Sinong nagtataas ng kamay? Si Arzadon. Si Arzadon, bakit?
Ma'am, nandito po ako kanina. Hindi ko po alam kung ba't hindi niyo po ata narinig. Narinig daw po ako ng mga klase ko nung nag-present po ako.
Oo, present ka naman dito.
Sige.
Wala ka naman
Thank you
sa
po.
list ng absent. Again, ulitin ko yung mga list ng absent ha. Si Avanzado, Camino, Cañeda, De Los Reyes, Doctora, Enalpe, Gutierrez, Hernandez, Lunar, Makalintal, Manalo, Montalvo, and Si Villar nandito, no? Si Villar.
Yes po, andito po.
Okay, yun yung mga list of absents. Sino pa nagtataas ng kamay? Si Lunar. Nandito ka na?
Present na po.
Okay. Sino pa? Di ba ang schedule natin is 9 a.m.? Sino pa ang Sino pa ang naka-absent sa akin na nandito na? Si Camino.
Yes po.
Sino pa? Wala na. Si Avanzado. Nandito na din.
Yes
Okay.
po, hindi niyo po ako natawag kanina.
Hindi, natawag kita. Ikaw lang yung una kong tinawag.
Sige po.
Okay, meron pa ba ako hindi natawag? Wala na? Okay, save ko na to O2 kayo, no? O2. Okay, so saan tayo natapos last time?
Yung 5 types po ng filter.
Okay. 5 types of filter. Open ko lang yung file ko. Okay. So, yung nare-recall ko is na-provide ko na sa inyo yung circuit for bandpass filter and yung formula na gagamitin. No? So, yun. Ulitin lang natin. Ano nga ulit yung mga types of filters na meron tayo? Sino po gusto sumagot? Okay, makaraig. Mark.
Low pass, high pass, band pass, band reject, and all pass po.
Okay. Ano yung nire-reject or ano yung ginagawa natin sa low pass filter? Ano yung signals na nire-reject natin? Ano yung signals na ina-accept natin for the low pass filter? John Lee?
Ang nire-reject po yung mga signals na hindi po kabilang sa band po ng low pass filter. Tapos ang ina-accept lang po yung mga nasa low pass po.
Ano yung hindi kabilang sa low pass filter? Sila yung nasa above ng cutoff frequency. No. So how about high pass filter? Si Leonard.
Nire-reject po yung mga nasa below cutoff.
Yes. And then how about band reject or band stop? Or yung tinatawag natin na notch filter. Kurt.
Ina-accept po yung nasa F-notch.
Yes, that's correct. And then meron tayong band pass. So for the band pass, ano yung nire-reject and ina-accept natin? Okay, Mark.
Ina-accept lang po yung nasa certain range of frequency po.
Yes. So F1 and F2, which is naka-include siya doon sa ating center frequency. So, all other signals is nire-reject niya. And kung ano yung nasa range ng frequency around the center frequency, yun lang yung ina-accept niya. Okay? And then yung all-pass filter naman is all signals are being accepted. Meron lang tayong nagiging phase shift. No? So, next naman na topic na i-discuss natin is the sorry. Meron pa pala tayong mga terminologies dito. So, yung terminologies na na-encounter natin or pwede natin ma-encounter in this topic is the passband. So, for the passband, yun yung mga range ng frequencies na ina-accept natin. So, for example, dun sa low pass filter, ay na-accept natin na signal is yung below the cutoff frequency, yun yung passband natin for the low pass filter. For the high pass filter naman, ang passband natin is yung signals above the cutoff frequency. So, and so on. So, for different types of filters, meron tayong different passband. So, different signals na ina-accept. So, next naman, kung meron tayong passband, meron tayong stop band. So, yung stop band natin is yun yung mga range ng frequencies na ina-attenuate natin or yung nire-reject natin. No. Then meron tayong attenuation. So this is the amount by which undesired frequencies in the stop band are reduced. Meron din tayong insertion loss. So ito yung loss na ini-introduce sa signal sa passband. So sa passband daw, meron pa rin tayong loss sa signal. No, and then yung impedance, so yun yung resistive value. So dun sa impedance natin, meron tayong mga na-discuss na inductive and capacitive reactance, which is sila yung mga impedance natin. So nagre-resist sila ng flow of current or energy. And then meron tayong ripple. So ito yung amplitude variation with the frequency in the passband. And then other terms na meron tayo is the shape factor. So in shape factor, merong pinapakitang formula dito, which is just the ratio of the bandwidths in the negative 40 decibel and negative 3 decibel. So in this case, meron tayong sample na 14 kilohertz in the negative 40 decibel and then 6 naman do sa negative 3 dB. And yung shape factor niya is 2.3. So, ratio lang siya. So, yung shape factor natin, it is also known as the bandwidth ratio. So, it is the ratio of the stop bandwidth to pass bandwidth and of a bandpass filter. So, yung bandpass filter natin, meron daw siyang stop bandwidth and pass bandwidth. And yun yung pagkuha ng shape factor natin is just the ratio of those. And then meron tayong pole. So pole is a frequency at which there is a high impedance in the circuit. So kapag daw meron tayong high impedance in the circuit, yun yung frequency wherein yung circuit natin is with high impedance. Zero. So this term refers to a frequency at which there is zero impedance. And then envelope delay or the time delay is the time it takes for a specific point on an input waveform to pass through the filter. Then roll off or also called as attenuation rate. So it's the rate of change of amplitude with frequency in a filter. So yun yung mga terminologies natin na ma-encounter in this topic. So that's just the definition of those. So yung iba naman is na-discuss na rin natin. So yung iba is mga bago sa pandinig nyo. So yan yung mga definition. Okay, so sabi natin sa communication receiver natin, yung one of the major component is the demodulator. So tapos na tayo sa tuner, no? Sa tuner, na-discuss natin ano yung types, ano yung circuit na ginagamit natin para makapag-select tayo ng frequencies and ano yung mga types of filter natin. So, after ng tuner is meron din tayong demodulator or also known as the detection or the detector. So, yan yung tinatawag natin sa demodulator, no? So, by definition, detection or demodulator of a radio signal is the process of separating RF carrier wave from AF intelligence wave. So sabi natin, yan yung nag-extract ng RF signal and AF signal. No? So kung marerecall nyo yung block diagram natin ng receiver, after ng demodulator, ang natira na lang ay AF signal. Kasi nga, in-extract na niya yung RF and AF signal. So, yung figure natin in this slide just shows the principle of detection. So, yung figure A, ang pinapakita lang niyan is wait lang ha. Yan natin ng pointer. Yan, yung figure A natin, pinapakita lang yan is yung modulated RF wave. So, yan yung RF natin or yung signal natin before natin i-apply sa demodulator. So, yung B naman, so rectified lang siya. Rectified and modulated RF wave, same pa din naman, pero siya ay rectified. And then, yung third figure natin, or yung C, is the AF wave. So, yun na lang yung natira after ng demodulator. No, so, yun na lang yung ating tinatransmit. And then, meron din tayong figure dito. So, figure 14-42. And ito yung simple detection circuit natin. So, pinapakita lang nito yung components na ginagamit natin for a detection circuit, which is yung diode. So, ito yung diode natin na. And, nakaparallel siya sa capacitor. So, kapag nakakita kayo ng ganyang component, that means that is a demodulator or a detector circuit. So, naka-input lang dyan yung ating modulated RF wave and yung output natin na connected sa amplifier circuit. No, so this is a simple detection circuit. No. Okay. So yung receiver natin, receiver diagram natin, meron tayong iba't ibang, 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo before, yung block diagram natin ng transmitter and receiver is not just the block diagram of a transmitter of receiver. So marami tayong pwedeng maging block diagram for a transmitter and a receiver. So for the receiver, meron tayong tinatawag na crystal receiver. So type of receiver din siya. So kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong figure dito sa A and B. So yung A natin is just the series type of a crystal receiver. And then yung figure B naman, siya yung parallel type ng crystal receiver. So yung crystal receiver, ito yung simplest of all types of radio receivers. Siya daw yung pinakasimple. Since basic lang yung mga components na ginagamit niya for it to be able to receive an information or data. So yan yung tinatawag natin na crystal receiver. Okay, isa-isahin natin yung mga yan. Yan, sige. So, itong pinalaki kong figure is yung figure A or yung series type ng ating crystal receiver. So, meron siyang 6 components. 'Di ba yung basic block diagram natin for our receiver, meron mga components like the antenna, like the amplifier, the modulator, and so on. So, ganun din dito sa receiver kasi receiver nga lang din talaga siya. So, yung component natin for a crystal receiver is composed of an antenna. Yan, yung antenna natin. Nakikita nyo ba yung pointer ko? Yan, kita nyo ba yung pointer ko?
Yes
Kita
po.
po.
Ayan. Okay, sige. Ganyan na lang. Kasi kapag naka-zoom in, nawawala yung yung laser. So, sabi natin, one of the basic component of a crystal receiver is an antenna. So, yan yung antenna natin. Again, ang function niya is to capture the RF signal or the modulated signal. So, ganun pa rin yung function niyan. And then another major component or basic component of this crystal receiver is the tuning coil. Ano sa tingin nyo dito sa circuit na to, yung tinatawag natin na tuning coil? Yan, sa figure A. Ano sa tingin nyo yung tuning coil dyan? Diba sabi natin, kapag tuning coil, inductor, or coil, a coil is an inductor. Sorry, hindi tuning coil is an inductor. A coil is an inductor. So, yun na yung clue ko na binibigay sa inyo, ha? So, ano sa tingin nyo yung tuning coil in this circuit?
Yung L1 po.
Yes. Not necessary L1 lang siya, but the combination of L1 and C1. So, yan yung, kapag coil, L1 lang siya. Pero pag tuning coil, that is the combination of L1 and C1 or the inductor and the capacitor. So, in this figure A, meron tayong L1, C1 in series. And then sa figure B naman natin, siya yung L1, C1 in parallel. Ano? Siya yung tinatawag natin na tuning coil. And ang function ng tuning coil in this circuit is to select the specific frequency. No? Kasi 'di ba ang receiver, meron siyang capability to select the frequency. And in this type of receiver, in this crystal receiver, yun yung ginagamit natin to select the frequency. Yun yung combination ng ating inductor and capacitor, which is tinatawag natin na tuning coil. Naintindihan po ba?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. And then, another component of this crystal receiver is the crystal detector. So, sabi natin, ang detector is also called as the demodulator. And since this is a crystal receiver, kaya siya ay tinawag na crystal detector. Ano sa tingin nyo yung component na ginagamit natin in this circuit na nagsiserve as the crystal detector or demodulator? Balik natin dun sa previous slide, ha. So, sabi dito sa 14-42, ito daw yung simple detection circuit natin. And yung ginagamit niyang component for the demodulator or the detector is the diode and capacitor in parallel. So, balik natin dun sa crystal receiver natin. Alin dito sa circuit na to ang nagsiserve as detector or demodulator? Crystal detector or demodulator?
Yung D1 po.
D1 and
C, C2.
C2. Yes. That is the D1 and C2. Sila yung nagsiserve as demodulator or detector of the crystal receiver circuit. So, yun yung function niya. So, if makakita kayo ng diode and capacitor in parallel, that is a demodulator or a detector. So, in this circuit, yung crystal receiver circuit natin, yan yung ating detector kasi nakaparallel siya. So, as you can notice, yung figure B natin, nakaparallel din siya dun sa ating C2, D1 and C2. Yan. So, siya yung tinatawag natin na crystal detector. No, so siya yung nagde-demodulate. So, ulitin natin ha. Meron tayong antenna. So, na-receive niya or na-capture niya yung signal which is pinadaan niya dito sa tuning coil wherein yung tuning coil, siya yung nagsaselect ng frequencies. And then, pinadaan niya dito sa demodulator. Yung demodulator natin is D1 and C2 in parallel. And then, next, nadadaanan niya is the headphones. So, ito yung headphones natin. No? Siya yung audio signal, demodulated audio signal. Siya yung nakaka-receive ng demodulated audio signal. Yun yung headphones natin. No? And then, after na headphones, connected ngayon siya doon sa ground connection. Ito yung ground connection natin. Okay? Naintindihan ba yung crystal receiver natin?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, yun din yan. Kung nakikinig kayo sa discussion natin ng block diagram ng receiver, almost the same lang siya. So, medyo malilito lang kayo since ang pinapakita natin dito is yung components na mismo, which is yung inductor and capacitor. But, yung mga connections natin dyan, like yung tuning coil, yung L1C1, siya yung nag-serve as the tuner. 'Di ba yung block diagram natin, may tuner siya. So, siya na yung tuner. And then, sa block diagram natin, meron tayong demodulator. So, in this circuit, yung D1 and C1 in parallel, siya yung demodulator. Ano? And then, meron tayong antenna. And then, meron tayong headphones and ground. So, parang same lang din siya. So, medyo malilito lang kayo kasi nga, ang pinapakita ko na sa inyo in this type of receiver, which is yung crystal receiver, is yung mismong component niya. No? Pero yung function niya is still the same. Nandun pa rin yung basic requirement for a transceiver, for a receiver pala, sorry. For a receiver. Which is nandun yung antenna, yung tuner, demodulator. No? So, yan yung crystal receiver. Okay, next. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na super heterodyne receiver. Yan. So, yung super heterodyne receiver natin, pakibasa po ako. Sinong gusto magbasa? Okay, Mark.
Super heterodyne receivers convert all incoming signals to a lower frequency, known as the intermediate frequency, at which a single set of amplifiers and filters is used to provide a fixed level of sensitivity and selectivity.
Ayan. So, yung super heterodyne is still a type of receiver. Yung kanina pinakita ko sa inyo is a crystal receiver. So, that is one type. And this super heterodyne receiver is still another type of receiver. So, meron ulit tayong block diagram. Kung mapapansin nyo, almost the same lang siya dun sa block diagram na una nating diniscuss dun sa receiver. Meron pa rin siyang antenna, amplifier. The difference is, meron tayong mixer, meron tayong IF amplifiers. Pero, meron pa rin tayong selective filter dito, which is, dun sa original natin na diagram, meron tayong tuner. So, ito na yon. And of course, hindi mawawala sa isang receiver yung demodulator. So, meron ulit tayong amplifier. And yung nabago lang in this type of receiver is meron tayong mixer, meron tayong IF amplifiers, and meron tayong AGC. So, isa-isahin natin yan, no? So, wait, before natin isa-isahin yung component ng isang super heterodyne receiver. So, yung super heterodyne receiver is one type of receiver that can provide the performance na mas improved yung receiver na to compared doon sa ibang receivers natin. So, yung crystal receiver, ito yung simplest type of receiver natin. Pero kung i-compare mo siya doon sa ating super heterodyne receiver, this is more improved type of receiver. Since ito yung ginagamit natin sa modern communication. Yung applications niya is ginagamit dun sa ating modern communication. Way niya ng pagre-receive ng information of data. No? Okay, so proceed tayo. Isa-isahin natin. Of course, meron tayong antenna. So, as you all know, yung antenna natin, yan yung nagpipick up ng RF signal natin. And then, finifeed niya sa RF amplifier. Which is, yung amplifier natin is tinutulungan niya na i-boost yung signal or i-increase yung signal strength. And then ito, yan, connected siya sa mixer. Ito na ngayon yung bagong component natin in this type of receiver. So, si mixer, ano sa tingin niyo yung ginagawa niya? So, pwede kayo manghula. Wild guess. Ano sa tingin niyo yung ginagawa ni mixer dyan sa circuit na yan or sa diagram na yan?
Na-scramble po yung signal po.
Not necessary scramble, pero parang medyo malapit na eh. So, yung ginagawa ni mixer in this diagram is to add or minus the frequency na pumapasok sa kanya. So, usually, yung output natin ng mixer, sineselect niya yung difference ng frequency or yung, di ba meron tayong mga frequencies na pumapasok dyan sa mixer. Meron tayong ginagawa na addition of frequencies or difference ng frequencies. So, depende sa kanyang application. Ano? And then, meron din tayong oscillator dito or yung frequency synthesizer. So, later on, i-discuss natin siya. Hanapin ko lang yung aking wait lang may open lang ako na reference. Ayan. Ayan. So, bukod doon sa nare-receive niyang signal from the RF, is meron din siyang nare-receive na signal from the oscillator. So, may nare-receive din siyang input from a local oscillator or yung tinatawag natin na frequency synthesizer. And yung output natin for a mixer is the input signal and the local oscillator signal. Ibig sabihin, yung dumadating sa kanyang signal is the local oscillator and yung RF signal. So, yun yung magiging output ngayon ni mixer. So, it could be a sum or it could be a difference ng frequencies. So, depende sa application natin, if ang gagamitin natin is a sum or the difference ng frequencies. So, in this application, sa super heterodyne, ang ginagamit natin is sum of frequency. So, sum of frequency yung ginagamit natin in this type of receiver. And then, meron din tayong nakita na IF amplifier. Sabi natin kay super heterodyne receiver, kino-convert niya daw yung incoming signals. So, in this case, ang incoming signals natin, yung combination natin ng RF and oscillator signal, and then kinuha niya yung sum ng frequencies nila, and then dinown convert natin siya into a lower frequency. Ano yung lower frequency na yun? Yun yung tinatawag natin na IF amplifiers. So, itong IF amplifiers, so, yung output ng mixer natin, yun na yung IF signals. na nagko-contain ng same modulation na nag-appear doon sa ating RF signal. So, yung signal natin ngayon na is ina-amplify by one or more different amplifiers. Kaya kung makita mo dyan, um, meron tayong two amplifiers. Pero not necessary for super heterodyne receiver is hanggang two amplifiers lang tayo. Meron tayong cases or meron tayong mga receivers na two or more yung IF amplifiers na stages na dinadaanan niya. And then, meron tayong selective filter. So, ito na yung tinatawag natin na tuner. Then, meron tayong demodulator and meron tayong AGC. So, yung demodulator naman is you already know the function or kung ano yung ginagawa niya. And then, this is the AGC. So, yung AGC, so, yun yung nag-help na mag-maintain ng constant output voltage. So, kino-conserve niya yung voltage since yung communication natin is nangyayari sa wide range of RF signals. So, another function niya, so tinutulungan niya yung receiver na mag-function over a wide range para yung signals natin is strong pa din and makapag-produce siya ng, para hindi siya makapag-produce ng distortion. So, yun yung function natin ng AGC dito. So, yung AGC, that is the automatic gain control, no? So, yun yung abbreviation natin for automatic gain control. So, yun yung AGC. Yun naman yung added na component natin in this super heterodyne receiver. And then, after ng demodulator, connected na ulit siya kay amplifier. And then, saka pa ulit siya kinonect kay speaker. So, this is just to show na meron pa tayong iba't ibang types of receiver na ginagamit. And in the modern communications, ang ginagamit natin usually is yung super heterodyne receiver. If pagtatanong kayo, ano yung function ng IF amplifiers natin? So, same lang din siya. So, since ito ay isang amplifier, so nag increase din siya ng signal. So, meron din siyang signal amplification. And then, meron tayong gain control dito. So, before, di ba na-discuss natin yung gain, which is yun yung amplification. So, meron din siyang gain control. Kaya niya ring i-control yung level ng signal. So, ano pa ba yung function ng IF natin? So, kaya niya din mag-filter. No? So, yun yung function natin ng IF amplifiers. Okay? Ayan. So, tapos na natin yung receiver topic natin. May question ba kayo? Ang mahalaga lang dyan is alam niyo yung mga major components natin ng transmitter, ng receiver, ano yung mga functions of each components, and also yung importance, and also yung paano natin siya ina-apply, and then yung mga for different types of components, ano yung mga circuits na ginagamit natin, and in those circuits, ano yung mga reactive components na ginagamit natin. Yun yung mahalaga na malaman nyo or maintindihan nyo in this topic. No, may tanong pa kayo? Question? Wala?
None
Okay.
so far po.
Okay. So, pakitawag po ako ng iba. Hindi pa tayo tapos. Na-end ko lang yung ano, yung class natin. Start tayo kapag ano, na-complete na ulit. Siguro mga 10:05. Pakitawag sa iba ha. Hello. Kumpleto na ba kayo? Ba't parang kulang pa din. Okay, anyway. Proceed tayo dun sa next chapter natin. Hello. Ayan. So, nakikita niyo na ba yung slide?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, kita po.
Okay. So, for today, ang i-discuss natin after ng alam niyo naman, since alam niyo na naman yung principles natin ng transmission and receiver and yung mga iba't ibang components nun. So, if you understand our previous topics, so madali nyo na lang din masusundan yung topic natin for today, no? Which is yung multiplexing and demultiplexing. So, before na define na rin naman natin yung multiplexing, no? And yung multiplexing is the process of simultaneously transmitting two or more individual signals over a single communication channel, cable, or wireless. So, kung before nagta-transfer tayo, do sa mga nagiging discussion natin, yung transfer of information or data natin is a single ano lang, single signal lang. So, ang multiplexing is kaya niyang mag-transmit ng two or more signals over a single channel. So, ito yung concept natin ng multiplexing as shown in this figure. Yan. So, meron tayong multiple input signals. So, yan yung mga signals na dumadating. So, in this case, meron tayong iba't ibang carrier frequencies, meron tayong iba't ibang baseband signals. So, yan yun. So, and then, meron tayong single communication channel. For example, meron tayong wire, meron tayong radio. So, isa lang yan. Single lang yan. And sa demultiplexing naman, so dito natin inilalabas yung ating original na input signals. And ang as defined, meron tayong multiplexer or the MUX or MPX as its abbreviation. It combines all inputs into a signal, while yung demultiplexer naman or the DEMUX, it processes input signal by sorting it out into original individual signals. No. So, ano ba yung importance ng multiplexing in the communication systems? So, meron tayong efficient use of resources. Pakilista po ako ha. Meron tayong importance ng multiplexing sa communication systems. Number one, meron tayong efficient use of resources. Since yung multiplexing natin, it allows multiple signals to share a common transmission medium. So, in this case, isa lang yung transmission medium niya. But, there are many different input signals. No? Kaya, efficient yung use niya ng resources. Number two, meron tayong increased data transfer capacity. So, by combining multiple signals into one, So, yung multiplexing, kaya niyang ma-increase yung overall data transfer capacity niya since iisa nga lang yung communication channel na ginagamit niya. So, nag increase din siya ng data transfer capacity. And then, third, since iisa nga lang yung channel or medium na ginagamit natin, so it is also cost savings. It is also an importance of multiplexing. So, cost saving siya. So, nire-reduce niya kasi yung mga physical infrastructure na kailangan for data transmission. Number 4, meron tayong improved scalability. So, when more signals or users need to be accommodated, so mas madali and mas cost-effective siya to implement yung multiplexing rather than laying yung mga iba't ibang infrastructure. So, improved scalability. Number 5 is compatibility and interoperability. So, ina-ensure niya na at different communication devices and systems, kaya niyang mag-work together. So, even if magkakaiba sila ng method ng transmission or technologies, so nagpo-promote pa rin yung multiplexing ng compatibility and interoperability between systems and networks. And then number 6, meron tayong effective data transmission. Since sa data transmission, under ng multiplexing, meron tayong tinatawag na time division multiplexing and frequency division multiplexing, which is madidiscuss natin later on. So, sa data transmission, kaya siya effective. So, ini-ensure niya na yung data is sent and received efficiently using these two types of transmission. Yun na nga yun, yung TDM and frequency division multiplexing, RFDM. And then next, number 7, importance of multiplexing. Kaya niya ding mag-reduce ng latency or ng delay. Next, maximizing bandwidth. Kaya niya mag-maximize ang bandwidth. Since yung multiplexing natin, it allows full utilization of available bandwidth. So, lahat ng available bandwidth na meron tayo, fully utilize yan gamit yung ating multiplexing. And then next, versatility. So, si multiplexing techniques, versatile yan and can be applied in various scenarios. So, pwede siya doon sa ating mga wireless communication, mga fiber optics, and satellite communication. So, na-list down nyo ba yung ating importance of multiplexing? Ano yun, yung mga importance natin? Pakiulit nga po. Ano yung mga importance natin ng multiplexing? Okay, Kurt.
Efficient use of resources, increased data transfer capacity, cost savings or cost efficient po, improve scalability, compatibility and interoperability, effective data transmission, reduce latency or delay, maximizing bandwidth and versatility po.
Okay. So, yun yung mga importance ng multiplexing natin. Later on, mas maintindihan nyo kung bakit ang dami ng importance ng multiplexing. So, madidiscuss natin siya if madaanan natin yung FDM or yung TDM. No? So, ano yung mga practical applications natin sa multiplexing? So, ginagamit natin yan sa broadcasting. So, in FM radio, gumagamit tayo ng FDM or yung frequency division multiplexing since meron tayong mga naka-assigned na unique frequency in each station. So, but inaalaw niya na yung multiple stations na yon ay makapag-transmit simultaneously and makapag-broadcast. So, under pa rin ng broadcasting is yung television broadcasting. So, same as FM radio. So, meron din siyang mga naka-assign na unique frequency. So, another application sa network communication naman, yung mga Ethernet natin and cellular networks. Meron din tayong fiber optic communication. And then computer networking. So it is also a practical application of multiplexing. So sa computer networking, yung example niyan is sa sa web browser, sa pag-email and pag-transfer ng file. So pwede siyang magawa in a shared or a single network connection. And then next, meron din tayong application like yung wireless communication natin. So under ng wireless communication, meron tayong Wi-Fi. So sa Wi-Fi, yung wireless routers natin, ginagamit natin for multiplexing para makapag-manage tayo ng multiple connected devices. Ano? So yun yung mga practical applications. Okay. So sabi natin, sa multiplexing, meron tayong tinatawag na FDM and TDM. So, ito yung FDM or yung tinatawag natin na frequency division multiplexing. So, in FDM, multiple signals share the bandwidth of a common communication channel. So, meron tayong figure. In this figure, you can notice na meron tayong madaming modulator. And sa modulator natin, meron tayong specific na input signal and carrier signal. So, meron tayong modulator 1, 2, 3, and 4. No? So, yan yung tinatawag natin na multiple signals. So, yung carrier frequency natin, usually, equally spaced yan over a specific frequency range and sila yung tinatawag natin na mga sub-carriers. Mga sub-carriers ang tawag natin dyan sa mga carrier frequencies natin na yan. So, kung medyo naguguluhan pa rin kayo, yung frequency division multiplexing natin, so, meron siyang single bandwidth na divided into smaller bandwidth. So, ito yung ano niya, yung figure niya. So, as you can see here, meron tayong single bandwidth. So, ito yung bandwidth na ginagamit natin sa overall communication channel. And yun yung red, yung red na line natin or yung red dash natin. And then, dinivide yan into single bandwidth. Which is the FC1, FC2, FC3, and FC4. So, yun yung concept natin for frequency division multiplexing. So, they share, itong mga different modulated signal, they share a single bandwidth wherein yung mga subcarriers natin is divided into a smaller bandwidth within the within this big bandwidth na to. Okay? And then meron tayong connected na linear mixer which is lahat sila nakakonect doon sa mixer. So, yung output natin na nagko-contain ng mga information, so, kinonect siya sa linear mixer and inad natin. Since ang sabi natin, yung mixer natin is the sum or difference of the signal. So, in this case, is inad natin yung ating signals. So, yung output natin sa mixer is just a single cable. So, ita-transfer natin siya into a single medium or channel. And then, yung signal naman na to, na output niya, can be used to modulate a radio transmitter. And then, ita-transmit na siya dito sa antenna. No, so yun yung concept natin for FDM or yung frequency division multiplexing. Meron siyang different sets of modulated signals. And then yung modulated signals na yon, meron din siyang iba't ibang input signal and carrier signal, which is yung carrier signal natin na tinatawag natin subcarrier. It is being combined in a linear mixer wherein yung signals natin produced by these different modulators are being added. And then yung output natin is sent over a single cable or a single medium or channel, which is then transmitted into this transmitter papunta kay antenna. So yun yung concept natin for FDM. No? And ano yung difference niya? Sorry. After pala ng modulator, so meron din tayong demodulator. So ito yung demodulator ng ating FDM. So meron pa rin tayong antenna, receiver, demodulator. So after ng demodulator, yun naman ngayon yung nagiging output niya. So kung ano yung naging input niya is yun din yung ilalabas niya after ng demodulator. Yan. So meron tayong demod 1, 2, 3, and 4. So nire-recover niya yung original signals na nanggaling doon sa ating transmitter. And before pala tayo dumaan dito sa demodulator, meron siya mga bandpass filters. So yung mga bandpass filters na yon, yun yung tuner natin wherein sinaselect natin yung frequencies. Okay? Okay. So, meron tayong sample problem dito. A cable TV service uses a single coaxial cable with a bandwidth of 860 MHz to transmit multiple TV signals to subscribers. Each TV signal is 6 MHz wide. How many channels can be carried? How many channels daw yung kaya nating i-carry doon sa bandwidth natin na 860 MHz kapag meron tayong TV signal given na tig 6 MHz siya. Sabi natin, ang frequency division multiplexing is a bandwidth na dinivide natin into a smaller bandwidth na equal yung size. So in this case, meron daw tayong one full bandwidth equivalent to 860 MHz. And meron tayong TV signals na 6 MHz wide. So ilan daw yung kaya nating ilaman doon sa bandwidth natin na 860? Kurt.
143 po. 0.33.
Answer is 143.
43.
So, i-round down natin yan. 143 lang. Since yung decimal places natin, hindi natin siya pwede i-consider as 1 since hindi niya kayang buuin yung one full bandwidth natin. So, we just have to divide yung 860 and 6. So, we can carry 143 channels in the 860 megahertz of bandwidth. No, if we are using a frequency division multiplexing. Naintindihan po ba?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. Yan. So, meron din tayong time division multiplexing. Sabi natin, we have two types of multiplexing and this is the FDM and TDM. So, ito yung TDM natin. time division multiplexing natin. And ang difference niya with the FDM is nag-transmit siya ng signal one at a time. So, kung sa frequency, pwede siya mag-transmit on a simultaneous manner. So, sa TDM, nagtatransmit siya one at a time kasi nga siya ay time division multiplexing. And gumagamit siya ng iba't ibang section or section ng time para makapag-transmit ng signal. For example, in this figure, meron tayong 4 signals. So, ano siya? Nagta-transfer siya ng signal. So, in-occupy ni signal 1 yung time na to. And then, si signal 2, yung time na to. Signal 3, yung time na to. Signal 4, yung time na to. Para makapag-transmit ng information. No? So, nagtitake turns sila in transmitting over the single channel. So, in this figure, yung 4 signals natin being transmitted is allowed to use the channel for a fixed time. So, fixed time yung ginagamit nila para makapag-transmit ng information, and yung bandwidth na ginagamit nila is yung entire bandwidth ng channel. Kung sa FDM, dinidivide nila yung bandwidth. Dito sa time division multiplexing, ginagamit niya yung full bandwidth, but nagtatransmit tayo ng signal for only a brief time or yung fixed time. Naintindihan po ba? Yung difference ng dalawa. Naintindihan? Okay.
Yes po.
So, yun yung difference natin ng FDM and concept natin in multiplexing. Other topics na meron tayo which is covered ng exam is, wait lang ha, check ko lang. Meron pa tayong i-discuss na digital data transmission. So, sa digital data transmission, madidiscuss natin yung FSK, PSK, QAM, and OFDM. And yung importance ng digital data transmission. So, one topic na lang. No? So, kaya para man natin humabol this week before tayo mag-exam kung walang magiging klase next week. So, yung November 6 to 10, yung ating magiging midterms. No, so, one topic na lang i-discuss natin after this. May question ba kayo? Wala?
Wala naman po.
Wala na. Okay. Naintindihan ba yung yung diniscuss ko or may tanong kayo? If meron kayong question, pwede naman kayong mag-message sa akin or dun sa group natin. So, pwede kayong mag-message sa dito sa messenger or in private sa akin kapag meron kayong mga topic na naguguluhan, ha? Okay. Kung wala na kayong question, I think pwede na natin i-end yung class natin. So, one topic na lang yung i-discuss natin, and kailan tayo mag-meet?
Friday po, ma'am.
So, sa Friday. Online na lang tayo ng Friday.
Yes po, ma'am. Tuloy po ba yung quiz or i-adjust na lang po ulit?
Joke lang yun, wala naman. Midterms lang.
Sige po.
Okay. Para lang mag-aral kayo. Okay, so yun. Kung wala na kayong concern, pwede na natin i-end yung class. Thank you sa pag-attend.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
po.
Thank you po, ma'am.